What really happened to the stars of Storage Wars? For years, we cheered them on as they uncovered hidden treasures or lost it all. But as time passed, some of the most familiar faces suddenly disappeared. Fans were left asking, did tragedy strike? Were there fallouts behind the scenes, or did they simply walk away? The reality is far more surprising and heartbreaking. Today, we uncover the truth about the Storage Wars cast members who are no longer with us as of 2025. Let's start with Barry Weiss. He wasn't just another cast member. He was the heart and soul of the show. From the very first time he rolled up in one of his vintage cars, wearing his signature gloves and flashing that mischievous grin, fans knew Barry was something special. While others obsessed over profit margins and resale value, Barry treated each storage locker like a treasure chest. He didn't just see dollar signs. He saw stories, history, and adventure. When he discovered an old jukebox, Barry would spend more time imagining the songs it once played than calculating what he could sell it for. Vintage collectibles lit up his eyes like a kid on Christmas morning. For him, the real treasure was the thrill of discovery. And that's why fans adored him. He reminded us that the show wasn't just about money. It was about curiosity, fun, and the joy of not knowing what you'd find next. Unlike many of the bidders, Barry didn't need the auctions to make a living. He had already made his fortune in the produce business years before. For him, Storage Wars was about adventure. That freedom let him take risks others wouldn't, bidding on lockers that seemed worthless or walking away from sure bets, just because they didn't spark his interest. After 4 seasons, Barry Weiss quietly stepped away from Storage Wars. There was no feud or drama, just a man choosing to close that chapter and return to his passions: classic cars, antiques, and adventure. Away from cameras, fans missed him, but respected his decision. Then, in 2019, tragedy struck. While riding his motorcycle in Los Angeles, Barry was involved in a devastating crash that left him with severe chest and leg injuries. Multiple surgeries and months of rehab followed. Yet, true to his spirit, Barry fought back with resilience. When he finally reappeared, his humor and charm remained intact. On the opposite end of the spectrum was Dave Hester. If Storage Wars was a poker table, Dave was the guy who slammed his chips down just to shake the room. Loud, fearless, and relentless, he quickly became the man fans loved to hate. His infamous "Yoop" wasn't just a catchphrase, it was his weapon of choice, echoing across auctions like a battle cry. But in 2018, his life changed forever when he suffered a serious stroke. The once dominant bidder now found himself fighting to regain speech and coordination. After months of rehab, Dave returned, but different. The fire was still there, but calmer, wiser, and far more at peace. Then there was Ivy Calvin, proudly known as the King of Palmdale. A former arena football player and mixed martial artist, Ivy carried himself with confidence that demanded attention. He ran his thrift store, Grandma's Attic, with pride, stocking it with treasures from his wins. With a sharp eye for hidden gems and a booming laugh, he quickly became a fan favorite. But as time passed, Ivy appeared less on screen. Away from the cameras, he focused more on his health and family. His sons began joining him at auctions, turning competition into bonding. Ivy showed that true victories happen at home. Now let's talk about Daryl Sheets. Known as the Gambler, if Barry was the cool uncle, Daryl was the wild older cousin. He chased big scores with reckless energy, willing to bet everything on a locker if he believed in it. His son Brandon often joined him, learning firsthand the highs and lows of taking risks. For Daryl, it wasn't just about money, it was about leaving a legacy for his family. But in 2019, his life took a frightening turn. After a day like any other, Daryl suddenly felt chest pains. He brushed it off at first, until it became clear he was in the middle of a massive heart attack. The man who thrived on adrenaline was suddenly forced to slow down. His absence left a hole in the show. Fans missed his fiery spirit, but they were relieved he survived. Sometimes, the biggest gamble of all is your own health. Brandy Passanti and Jera Schultz were the couple next door, who made fans laugh with their push and pull dynamic. Brandy was careful and analytical, while Jera was impulsive and thrill-driven. Together, Their banter created some of Storage Wars' most entertaining moments as they balanced each other, while running thrift stores and chasing profits. But behind the scenes, their relationship was breaking down. By 2020, it was quietly revealed that they had split. There was no dramatic blowout, just the end of a long partnership. Brandy focused on her children, Jera faded back, and the show was never quite the same. Renee and Casey Natesoda brought their own brand of energy to the auctions. Reen's booming voice and sharp eye for collectibles paired perfectly with Casey's warm personality and attention to detail. Together they made a powerhouse team. But in 2023, tragedy struck when Reen's father passed away after a short battle with lung cancer. The heart of the auctions, though, was always Dan and Laura Dotson. Their voices were the rhythm of Storage Wars. Dan's rapid-fire chant and Laura's friendly smile kept the energy alive. But in 2014, their world nearly collapsed. One morning, Dan woke up disoriented and collapsed. He was rushed to the hospital, where doctors discovered a brain aneurysm. Without immediate surgery, he might not have survived. The recovery was long and grueling, but Laura stood by his side every step of the way. Mary Padian, nicknamed the Junkster, brought something different to the auctions. Where others saw junk, she saw potential. With her background in design and journalism, she transformed old trunks and worn furniture into beautiful, repurposed pieces. Her quirky, upbeat personality won fans instantly. When she transitioned from Storage Wars, Texas to the main show, she carried that same charm. Over time, though, she began stepping away, focusing on her online store and personal projects. Emily Wares entered the show later, but made her mark as a professional auctioneer. By the time she joined, she had already won awards in her field and amazed cast members with her speed and precision. At just 27, she was one of the youngest auctioneers to ever appear on the series. But after a short run, Emily stepped back, choosing instead to focus on her personal life. And finally, there's Kenny Crossley. With his southern charm, quick wit, and larger-than-life personality, Kenny became a fan favorite. He first appeared alongside Barry Weiss and quickly carved out his own role on the show. Unlike others, Kenny didn't chase every locker. He picked his spots, going after quirky finds that matched his playful spirit. Fans loved his humor and one-liners, which could lighten even the tensest bidding wars. Eventually, Kenny to step back, focusing on other ventures like his clothing line and donut shop. So, what really happened to the stars of Storage Wars? Their stories prove that life is about more than profit. It's about people, passion, and perseverance. If you enjoyed this journey through their highs and lows, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow fans, and subscribe for more stories that uncover the truth. Thanks for watching.